This video is for everyone on the Factory 5 forum that might be looking to try to make their car better at autocross. I've been racing this one for 2.5 years now, and I feel like I've finally crossed the bridge of figuring out really what's going on and getting the car to be fast and competitive, and I thought I'd share some lessons learned and some experience. So here it goes. First of all, I'm running a 3-link in the back, solid axle. And I learned that these cars are set up with no anti-squat. In fact, they're negative anti-squat, meaning they're pro-squat. So when you put your foot on the gas and the car launches, it exaggerates how much it picks up the nose, which is not good for trying to keep the front wheels loaded and turning. So you'll find that like mid-corner, you've got grip on the front, and then as you try to accelerate out of the turn, you don't have grip in the front, and it just delays when you can get on throttle. My solution to this was these brackets here. I designed them, and then I had them laser cut, and it drops the length of this arm. Drops the angle of this arm. So this is obviously hanging. It's not at ride height, but this arm, you want it level with the ground, maybe slightly running uphill. If you can do that, you'll have some anti-squat. When I say slightly uphill, I have mine set up to be where this is about a 1/2 inch higher than this when it's on the ground. The other thing I did in the back here was the upper arm. Its angle is quite important for anti-squat too, and you can kind of see where this washer was versus is, but I slotted this a 1/4 inch down, and then I slotted this a 1/4 inch up. So at ride height, that gives that arm more angle. And with everything like this, it's about 40% anti-squat. So in the front of the car, it also has no anti-dive. So regardless of if you're running IRS or solid axle rear suspension, the front has no anti-dive. And it's easy to tell because of the stock lower control arm. If you look at the plane that it's mounted in, and then you look at the upper control arm, mine's different, but yours is going to be mounted between 2 plates right here, parallel. And if this is parallel with this, there's no anti-dive. These have to converge at an angle and a point out here to have anti-dive. So what I did was this, and I have some other videos on social media that show exactly what I did here. But I cut those plates back, and then I designed this bracket, and this bracket has a bunch of different hole positions. These set a position, and then this one's a true slider that you set this arm angle with an angle finder. So you can change roll center. You have 5 different roll center positions for this lower arm height, and then if you put this lower arm in the lower spot, you can have 5 more roll center positions. So it gives you a bunch of adjustability. I'm actually going to try to lower my roll center a little bit here in the coming weeks and put this arm in the lower spot and move this arm down, and that'll drop my roll center about 2 inches. Lastly, what was done here is this is a splined sway bar. It's a 1 1/4 splined bar. I welded on these mounts. These are Speedway Engineering bent arms. This is a 1/2 inch rod end link setup that's going right off the shock mount, and this controls roll. So I went from a pretty aggressive spring rate down to 750, and then with the anti-dive, it keeps the splitter off the ground, and then the sway bar controls the roll more than the other shock and spring package used to. And this is a significant improvement to the autocross setup on this car. If you'd like to know more, send me a message. Preferably social media is the best way. Name is Rich Carpino on Facebook, and you can kind of look at everything I've done and how the car is running. I have a lot of videos showing how the car runs with all this setup done, and you'll also see how it ran before. In our local club, it's a very competitive local club. I went from finishing 15th to 20th to like third last week, just by making these changes. And I got to get better at driving with this setup, but it's a lot easier to drive. There's a lot more grip. It's way more competitive. If you're serious about autocrossing, I highly recommend this setup in the front. And if you have a solid axle, I highly recommend putting some anti-squat in the back. So I hope you find this helpful, and everyone have a good day.